Hi, I'm Karen Hart with Meridian Title, and we're here today to talk about some of the things that you're going to need to prepare yourself for the closing transaction on the purchase of your property. If you haven't already done so, you must contact an insurance company to arrange for homeowners insurance on your new property. The specifications for this policy can be obtained from your lender. The policy must contain a clause insuring the lender as well as yourself and in an amount specified by the lender. This typically needs to be sent to your lender at least a week in advance of closing, so they may incorporate your insurance amount in the closing figure calculations and payment calculation. You have hopefully reviewed all of the inspections requested on your contract to purchase and negotiated any repair issues with the seller. You and your agent will typically schedule a walkthrough prior to closing to confirm everything has been completed. Should items not be complete, arrangements may be able to be made to escrow or hold back funds until the work is completed. If it is a lender-required repair, it will need to be completed by closing or an escrow approved by your lender. You have been given an estimate of your closing costs from your lender or agent if it's a cash transaction. The final amount due for closing may not be available in most cases until the day before closing. Prior to knowing the exact figure, however, you may contact your bank and make arrangements for obtaining funds. In the state of Indiana, there is a good funds statute that requires funds to be in the form of a wire sent to the settlement agent if the funds needed for closing are over $10,000. Anything under $10,000 will need to be in a cashier's or certified check payable to the title company handling the closing. You can request the wire instructions from the title company and get them to your bank with authorization, and then they will need just the final amount from you in order to wire the funds to the title company for closing. If you need to receive your final number or any of your documents in advance, please communicate this with your loan officer and real estate agents. In some cases, arrangements can be made to accommodate your request. If you are not able to attend closing, please let your real estate agent and lender know as soon as possible. The title company will arrange an alternative to you not being at the closing. This may be a power of attorney or a courtesy closing at a title company near you. If it is a cash transaction, we may be able to email documents to you for your signature. Prior to closing, you will receive your final closing statement, referred to frequently as a HUD. This will detail your closing cost charges to include your lender costs, title company fees, and inspection charges. It will reflect your credits such as the earnest money, tax credits, and loan funds you are borrowing, along with any credits from the seller. The bottom figure on the closing statement will be the net amount needed from you at closing, either in the form of a cashier's check or wire as mentioned earlier. Review the statement carefully and advise your agent, lender, or title company if you have any questions. You will also need to bring a photo ID, typically a driver's license or a passport, and in some cases, an additional form of identification may be required by your lender. They will advise you of this. Please make sure these documents are current prior to closing and list the name that matches how you will be taking title to the property. You will receive directions as to where the closing will take place and the time. It is not uncommon for the seller to not attend the closing or attend at a time different from you. If all parties are at the closing, in most cases you will sign your documents first with the title company settlement agent, and the seller will sign after you. This will allow you some privacy to review your documentation and ask any questions you may have without the other party present. When signing documentation, it is imperative that you sign your name exactly as it appears on the documents. Any errors should be brought to the attention of the closing agent. After all documents are signed by all parties and reviewed, they are sometimes required to be sent via fax or email to the lender for funding approval before the closer can disperse. If this is the case, there may be a delay in finalizing the transaction for a bit. There are occasions when a delay may be a little longer due to not having funds or closing conditions satisfied. If that is the case, it will be considered a dry closing, and possession and disbursement may be delayed. While this is not the normal, it is not uncommon. Should all closing and funding requirements be met, you will be the happy owners of your new home. Arrangements for possession and utilities will be discussed between you and the sellers pursuant to your contract. If you have any additional questions or concerns in regards to your closing transaction, contact your lender, your real estate agents, or your title company. We hope you enjoy your new home.